Well, a very good morning to you. Welcome to our Thursday broadcast. The Hollywood Bets Durban July Gallops are currently taking place, of which we've missed most of them, Neil, but we've been focusing on today's racing on the Vaal Classic track. We can watch the recorded version a bit later because that is the first port of call, the Hollywood Bets Durban July. And the reason being is that we're bringing out our Clock in the Gallop extra promotion again for this next weekend. We opened this up pretty early on this week. There's already been a steady stream of people. And as you know, Neil, limited numbers for this.
Yeah, absolutely. And just because somebody phoned me who missed it last time and said, oh, why do you cut it off? Well, the point is that we're trying to make it exclusive. And I'm sure that those that pay their 250 don't want it going to the world and his wife because you want to try and get the value. That's the whole point of it. There is an exclusivity about it. So we keep it at those tight numbers and we're happy to do so. But it is a question of first come, first served. But most people know that and they're quickly in out of the blocks. But it doesn't get any bigger than Durban July Day, Hollywood Bets Durban July. Not going to be an easy card, Nico. I mean, the feature race looks very open and very competitive.
It does, but we'll have the expertise of a certain Robert Bloomberg on the show next week, Neil. It's a big coup for us to have Robert on, and everyone knows how well he previews and he analyzes the races. So he'll also be giving us his input sometime during the course of next week. So do look out for that. But this is the gist of it. I have done a separate video on this, but all of Nino, myself, the Ghost Rider, and Neil have a meeting next week on the weekend to look at, and you can deposit your 250 Rand into our banking account, and please send us details of that. That's to start off the show because we've got just 10 days or so to the big day. But let's talk now racing. And today the meeting is out on the Vaal Classic track. First race off at 12:30. It's a maiden juvenile paid over 1,000 and a few apprentice races today. So people will have to tread warily.
Yeah, and I think we all got our own favorite apprentices as punters. And that's not to say, and I've said this time and time again, I'll probably sound like a stuck record, but I think it's worth repeating on a day where there are apprentice race meetings. Every single apprentice is on a journey to become a senior rider. And some will make it right to the top of their profession and others won't. And others will sort of be journeyman jockey in the middle. But it depends where they are on that journey. So some apprentices, I believe, in my opinion, are worth their 4-claimer. Some are not. Some are worth 2.5 claims. Some are not. That's not to say that when I say that an apprentice isn't worth the 4, that he or she won't get there, because of course it's a development process. And you look at somebody like my good friend, Mr. Zuma, who when I met, I was delighted to meet, very likable young man, but a tiny little guy. But that was a couple of months ago. I mean, he's strengthening up. He rode a lovely little race the other day to come through and win. And so they're all on their journey and they improve. It's just a question of where they are in the pecking order. If you look at the other story, Nico, as you will well know, Kyle Stradham was champion apprentice. And then he, for whatever reason, he went AWOL. I mean, not literally, but he couldn't get a winner. But he's back and he's riding well. He's riding with confidence and proving why he was champion apprentice. Now, he doesn't claim anymore, of course, but you've got to say that his journey is, he's went away a little bit and now he's coming back. So that they all are in their space. And it's a question in your own mind as a handicapper, whether you believe the apprentice is worth the claim or the lack of claim or whatever the case would be. So I find these fascinating races.
Okay, the first race isn't an apprentice race, Neil, but let's go to it. The first of 8 races today at 12:30. By the way, I'm presenting out at the Vaal today, and Alistair Cohn is commentating. So we're going out in one vehicle out to the course today, and we're looking forward to the day's racing. So hence why we're doing this fairly early. The first race up the straight 1,000 meters on the classic track, and here's the betting, Neil. Varticus is second favorite. In fact, the favorite's the filly down at the bottom, Clean Living. She's at 12-10 for Cornet Spies and Craig Zaki. You've got Varticus at 5-2, and then number 1, Always Better, at 9-2. Did you look at this race carefully or not really?
Nico, I did look at this race. But I defaulted to a strange position. I'm actually sending this voice note to our group. We're on a 10-day flat tummy Herbalife challenge. And
Yes.
the colleague that you spoke of, that you'll be in the car with, Alistair Cohen, driving to the Vaal, is on that challenge.
Yes,
Now,
yes, he told me
he's had a
about
few
this.
hiccups. Yes, he's had a few hiccups, but he's losing weight steadily. If he laid off the chips with a burger, he'd be much better. But he's losing weight. But I said it's got to be an omen. I mean, there's a horse here called Clean Living.
Yeah.
I mean, the guys on the straight and narrow, you're going to be in the car making sure that he's having his Herbalife shake and laying off the burgers on the way to the Vaal. So there you go. There's the office. Clean Living. Well done to Alistair. I think he's leading the pack this morning. He's lost another kilogram.
Okay, well, hopefully we won't pick up some Maguina along the way, Neil, which is number 3. Those are fat cakes, what they call fat cakes or fat cooks, mini fat cooks, but they're beautiful. I actually bought, thank goodness I'm not in your church, because I bought about 16 of them in a pack and did about a dozen of them the other day. So that didn't help me, my cause. But anyway.
Well, I got bad news for you, because my wife's got you on her radar. She said to me this morning, Nico, if Alistair and Gavin Hunt are doing it, so Hunty and I captains it, he said, if we're doing it, why isn't Nico doing it? So don't worry. And you know that Lance Michael is doing it.
Oh, is he? Okay.
And doing very well, yes. So he's actually leader of the pack.
Oh, well
so
done.
anyway,
okay.
So you'll be targeted.
So Neil, I think with the weight that Clean Living is getting from the colts of 2.5 kilos, when I did my sums on the ratings, she obviously scored a much higher rating in her debut against Gallivanting than she did in her second against Magic Tycoon. But the second against Magic Tycoon was against the boys, who she runs against today. But I think that with that weight allowance, I think that she's good enough to go in there in the first of the day, which is the start of the bypass. Let's go to race 2, which is the start of the place accumulated at 1:05. It's a maiden juvenile plate for fillies, 1,000 meters. By the way, I'll just quickly update you with whatever changes we have. In the first race, blinkers go on the 3 Maguina and a tongue tie on 4 Pendragon. Race 2, earmuffs on 3 Covert Action, blinkers on 6 High Roller, and it looks like that's it for the second, Neil. Here's the betting for the second race, but Flower Bomb is all the rage at 9 to 10.
Yeah, it does look hard to beat, really. She's a daughter of Erupt, and they began their career pretty well. Marco van Rensberg, you were telling me, rode a winner, of course, Golden Aspen, I think it was. He's always a good rider, Marco. So we wish him the best. And the horse has got form, so hard to oppose, really. It is the Vaal Classic. It's up the straight, so there's no problem with the draw of 12. I think it's all systems go, certainly from a PA point of view anyway.
Okay. Yeah, I think that could be the one that everyone goes for there. I just wanted to quickly give a shout out to Chris Yonkers, number 10. She's a Claver, as I watch Sparkling Water and Al Mutana in the gallop there, Neil. And I hasten to add that Sparkling Water is definitely good value in the race.
Did she beat Al Mutana in the gallop?
Yeah, but it was very hard held, both of them. Al Mutana, very hard held, both of them, not giving away much. But all I can say is that Sparkling Water looks good. Anyway, so she's a Claver because of Sibs and Klengwa's 4 kilos off. Brings it into the round. I like that as a bit of a roughie to finish somewhere in the placings, 50 to 1. But I think that they'll struggle to beat Flower Bomb here. Let's go on to the third, the start of the pick 6 at 20 to 2. It's an apprentice maiden. We mentioned these apprentices, 1450. Scratched as 7 Express Flyer. Number 1 is Rachel Venika's ride, Jane Wilson. And in the third race, number 4, My Chance to Dream, No Tongue Tie. Those are the changes there. The betting, there's been early money for number 9, Nice Move. It's now 16 to 10, but number 12, Killshot, is the favorite at 13 to 10. I don't think it's a 2-horse race. I think a few come into it here.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, Nico. I think it's quite competitive, actually. So I'm with you. This is a race around the turn as well. So not only have you got the apprentices, you got a situation that they've got to deal from some poor draws. So my man that I spoke about earlier on, Mr. Zuma, has got a 13 draw to overcome. So I don't think that's going to be in his favor at all. Nico, I agree with you. I think it's quite competitive. I think you've got to go wide here. My each way play in the race is either going to be number 13, Up the Irish, or which is a younger 2-year-old filly, or the older 4-year-old Raising a Storm, who's pretty exposed. But as I mentioned earlier, it's got the senior apprentice rider, Kyle Stradham, on, and hasn't been far off them. But I don't think it's a strong race, do you?
No, it's not a strong race at all. I thought that the younger horses might hold the edge, but you know that Nice Move is a 3-year-old. She comes in with 58.5 kilos. Raising a Storm, Neil, I agree with you. I think she's been knocking on the door for that win. And I think that tongue tie may make the difference, Neil. It's got a tongue tie on today, and there's been a bit of shrewd money, 12s into 8s on Raising a Storm. I do like the horses right down at the bottom there. Up the Irish, I thought was value at 10-1. Funny enough, I put Apache Love at 40-1 into the play too, the daughter of the Apache, because I think stepping up from 1,000 to 1,450 will be well within her grasp. So I don't like the race. I think a few of it come into it. So we'll be loading up in our place accumulator for our Take a Bet show.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, we're going to move on to race 4, which is a maiden over 2,000 meters at 2:15. Scratch number 6, Nicotan, is out of the 4th race. Alamites in front only on 2, Atlantic City. Earmuffs go on the 2 as well, and blinkers on number 3, Flag Bearer. So here's the betting: 3-10, number 9, Good Counsels. 3-10, the son of Oratorio, from a 9 draw, Neil. But is a very, very weak field, very thin in terms of form.
Yeah, extremely thin, Nico. It's around the turn. I mean, I'd prefer Good Counsel have a better draw, but
yeah,
the thing about, but you know, it is the 2000s, so he's got plenty of time, Ryan Munger, to sort himself out. The thing is, Nico, now I know that the horses are about to turn. Where are we? June. They're not that far away. They're a month or so away from turning
6 weeks.
But Nico, 2,000 meters at this time of the year is quite an ask for a 2-year-old. He looks to win, but he's terribly short of 3-10. And at this time of the year, to win over 2,000 meters as a 2-year-old, he'll have to face some rather moderate opposition, which I guess he does. But, you know, a horse like Harold the Duke, Flag Bearer, these horses have shown some form. I'd be tempted to maybe look for number 3, Flag Bearer, or something to run a place as the preferred value than chasing a 3-10 shot.
Just quickly, again, my estimation on the merit rating of Good Counsel. Fair enough. Horses that are absolute levels in the merit rating. So in other words, if you've got equal ability horses, but one is older than the other, Neil, the 3-year-olds should be giving the 2-year-olds over 2,000 meters 9.5 kilograms at this time of year, and it's only giving it 5. So a horse like Harold the Duke is only giving Good Counsel 5. I mentioned Harold the Duke because I reckon that's the danger for me.
Yes,
that means it's effectively 4.5 kilos out at the weights. But Good Counsel's rating, Neil, on my calculations, comes out to a 90 plus. So a 90 plus gross rating would be a net rating of 67 plus. And Harold the Duke's net rating is 64 if you take into account the 68 minus the 2 kilos as a 3-year-old. So, you know, if you take into account the net situation, Good Counsel should be giving Harold the Duke weight. If I make myself clear there, and it should be giving it about 1.5 and it's receiving 5. So that's why it's 3-10. I think it's the ability. But Rachel Vinegar, Neil, is quite dangerous when she rides, wherever she rides. And for that reason, I'm thinking that might just be on the improve for Jessica Matawong and her partners.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it took a while to get into his racing career, Harold the Duke, but I think he's capable. I agree with you. I think the value is elsewhere. I mean, he might very well win, but we know, I mean, people who watch this channel, 3-10 is not our chop. It's never been our chop, you know. It's 3-10. Maybe he deserves to be 3-10, but I ain't going to take 3-10 about a 2-year-old over 2,000 meters. No, thank you.
Correct.
And I mean, he's got a couple of things in his favor. He's got Andrew Fortune, Ashley Fortune's yard in his favor. I mean, but it's just, we know it's not easy to win over that trip.
Okay, on to race 5, the second of our apprentice races, this time a classified stakes over 1,800 meters. Just quickly, the changes in race 5. Scratch to 3 Clarkson and 8 River Jordan's been retired, Neil. Whew. No one more happy than us that's been retired. We've done our absolute dash on it. Maybe it's found a good home, but I'll tell you what, it'll be an honest horse wherever it goes, honest to wake up every morning and eat. Race 5, number 9, My Kingdom, is without a rider as yet. And then number 13, Mariposa, Alamites in front, Unshot behind. Now the Ghost Rider came out smelling of roses yesterday, Neil. He had a very good day yesterday. Unfortunately, the PA didn't click on the last leg, but he tipped some really good horses, including the last race winner for Mark Dixon and Keegan DeMello, which he labeled.
Master to Be.
Master to Be. He liked that really strongly, and I mentioned it on the show. So well done to him. He came through overnight, said he's got a horse for us here. Number 13, Mariposa at 10-1. It's carrying just 50 kilos. I did my studying. I don't like it particularly, but he liked that. So that's for our Ghost Rider fans if they wanted to take a chance here.
Yeah, you and I think, are on the same horse. So we're going for number 5, Mingshi here.
That's right, we are.
Who is 5 kilograms better off with Cool Bikel, who, as you know, was one of the first in this very good run of SoccerShop.bet price boosters. Cool Biker was the first one when it started the run at 18-1. I labeled it, but it can't be Mingshi here. I think Mingshi's progressive. Suzette Yun had a winner with Paul Peter. Don't Stop Me, I think it was called yesterday. In Gravel.
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me, or one of those. Don't something me. Don't touch me in my studio. So yeah, I like Mingshi. And the thing is, Gabriel Peters is getting a few chances for Paul Peter, and he's doing nicely. Yeah,
I thought that was a big run of Mingshi at 4-1. The other horse that I did want to mention, courtesy of Siyanda Sosibo, who'd done us a turn. Remember, he won on cue for me about a month or so ago. He's got Silly Fella here with just 50 kilos from a 1 draw. Very consistent horse. I'll be putting Silly Fella in wherever I put Mingshi. They're both 4-1, Neil, and they've got reason to be where they are on the top of bookmakers board. So we're going short in that race, race 5, the apprentice races. We move on to race 6 now. And that is another apprentice handicap this time, merit rated 79 over 1,200 meters. Let's have a quick look at the changes. Scratch number 1, Successful Secret. That's just come through actually as a scratching now. Number 1 is out of race 6. The other changes, number 8, Voyeur, blinkers on. And number 10, Trust the Fire, Alamites in front, Unshot behind. So you can take out Successful Secret here, who was at 5-1. What are your thoughts in this race?
You mentioned a call from Cape Town with the Ghost Rider. I've given away where he lives. But I had another call from Cape Town. I didn't recognize the number, but I think it might have been from David Carswell, because the message was back for you.
So yeah, that was his horse.
David, if you're out there, I'm sure just stop looking through that peephole and just back Voyeur, I think is the way to go. So good to hear from him. Nico, an open race, but our horse is running here.
Yes,
both of us have liked Cotonos. We should have bought bloody Cotonos, we like him so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
I think he'll run well.
He will run well. There's been a bit of nibbles for him, 5-1 and 4-1, but I think he will run well, Neil. We've been waiting for him. That run to Out of the Darkness was a sterling effort back in October last year. Out of the Darkness is rated, I think it is rated 100 and something, 108. It's rated 108, Neil. So for that reason, you'd have to think that Cotonos would go really close over here. That stable's firing on all cylinders. Caden Brewer jumps from a good draw. So Cotonos is clearly, we're both on that. But we do like a few roughies over in the race. You had a bit of a chance to Ridge to Reef, the 6, who's a new horse in Joburg, only had 1 run here. I liked a bit of Edgar Town from the Boertus Vosloo stable. that has got some good earlier form, Neil. Good form to horses like Good Traveller and Safe Return and Dice and Airways Law.
Yeah,
We just missed a place in the Hollywood Bets Durban July next weekend. So, and Lunacam, who won so well yesterday. So Edgar Town, I thought, had a bit of a chance here at 16-1.
I'd agree with you, Nico. I'd rubber stamp that. I told you earlier on, Carl Straydom, I think, is riding very nicely. He doesn't get the benefit of any claim, but he's got the seniority and experience. I think Edgar Town will run very well. And then, of course, you got our old chestnut at the bottom, Java House, bless her cotton socks.
Yes.
She now hasn't won, because every time we talk about her updated, she hasn't won for 735 days, but the owners have been very patient, and she's going to win soon, surely. And she's got no weight on her back. She's going 48, Nico, from, well, she's from a one draw as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Correct. So, and she's got cheek pieces on for the first time ever in her career. She's had 21 runs, but she's never had cheek pieces. I think she wore blinkers a few times, but she's got cheek pieces on for the very first time. I wouldn't leave her out completely. I see now they've adjusted this betting 33-10, three ways here, double Magic, Cotinos and Java House. So the more we speak, the more Cotinos shortens, but that was because of the scratching now of Successful Secret there in race 6. Okay, so that looks pretty open. I'm going to move on to the 7th race, which is a classified stakes over 1450 meters. Just also tell you what the changes are in the 7th race. In race 7, scratch number 2, In Cahoots. Number 9, Bella Rosa, has the blinkers on. And there's the betting, Neil, in this classified stakes race. It's pretty open. It's 7-2 the pair, Courant number 4 and Bella Rosa the 9, both 7-2.
Yeah, interesting race. I know you like the fillies here, which is understandable because it's a classified stakes race. And I've got all the fillies sort of on my radar, including the bottom filly, number 14, Coco Hill, who races from a one draw and has got no weight on her back. But the horse that interested me was a horse that I did well, a jockey that I did well with yesterday, because I like Bella Ciccone personally in that 9th race. Which ran 3rd. I think it was Mr. Geertsen. But anyway, I like a little bit of number 11 Sergei here, because he is going to, and it is a he, unfortunately, in the classified stakes race, but he's got 50 kilograms. He's drawn 3, and he might get the run of the race. I think he's at most effective from running up with the pace. So I think the race, if he jumps well, will suit him.
Yeah, he'll be dangerous from the front, Neil, under that 50 kilos. So Sergei, definitely. I, as you say, I did like the fillies, all of Courant, who's carrying a bit of pudding, and she's not the easiest of rides, as Danielson would have found it last time and would find out again today. Neil, I quite like Speechmaker today for Markov and Rensberg and Heather Adamson at 12-1. I thought that she had a big chance. And then Bella Rosa, we always keep on going for her. She's going to pop up one day and she comes in with a lightweight. So I'm going for those 3 fillies. You mentioned Coca Hill right down at the bottom, and you mentioned Sergei. It's open, that race. So tread cautiously over there. But those are the ones that we're looking at centering our bets around. And then the last race runs at 25-5, a maiden over 1450. Changes in the last race. Number 1, Alabaster, has a Cornell collar. And number 2, All Around the World, is a Gin Strike, a mini Gin Strike, because it didn't wear Alamites last time out. Has got a half set on this time round. But the money's coming for Oathkeeper, the 2-year-old colt. He's by Futura, who you rate, 3-1 or 33-10, actually, into 5-2. So there's been money for 12 Oathkeeper into 5-2. But number 6, Never Too Clever. I'm shocked that I see 9-4, Never Too Clever. Now we back Never Too Clever at 6s and 5s and 8s and 10s, and it can't win. Dare I say it? If it can't win at those, I'm not backing it at 9-4. Never do.
No, I also think, I mean, he'll eventually win a race. I mean, he's not the worst horse in training, but he is a 4-year-old, and he's trying to find. Look, he's got one bonus today, and that's Muzzy. Muzzy's riding him from not such a clever drawer, a never too clever drawer of 9, but Muzzy's riding very well at the moment. So I give him a chance, but like you, I wouldn't be taking that price. No chance. And not in this race, there's no value there. I just wanted to throw a few at you. You mentioned number 2, All Around the World. I mean, how's that pedigree? I mean, he's wound up with Clinton Binder, as All Around the World, but he's a son of Oasis Dream out of same jurisdiction. Now, you'll remember her. I think that Gaynor raced her.
Later on in her career, she was actually owned by Ian van Schalkwyk early on, raced for Duncan Howell.
Correct.
And then
Yes.
raced in the Drakenstein colours, correct.
But she was pretty good.
Yeah, she was.
Did she go overseas? I think they try her overseas. I think they might have.
Yeah, they might.
Somebody from that family went overseas.
I'll double check and tell you. I will double check and tell you.
I thought she got sent overseas for a campaign. But anyway, you'll look that up. But anyway, it's a lovely pedigree. And interesting, yes, that there's the half set of Alamites on. The other roughie is number 1, Alabaster, who I don't think should be 20-1.
No.
Blinkers have come off. And that could be a roughie.
Yeah.
But I didn't like the race. Oathkeeper obviously sets a stand, but you've got a 2-year-old again going around the turn, well enough drawn, of course, and not like the other 2-year-old over 2,000 meters. So I do think Oathkeeper, because Schumacher's got a big reputation, hasn't it?
Yeah, he does. And, again, 2 very different runs for Oathkeeper. I think the 16er was too far for it. It's run 4.5 lengths behind Shoemaker at level weights, but then runs 8 lengths behind it, receiving 3. So that doesn't make sense. It can be 2 different runs. So it's hard to peg its rating at something. If it runs to the higher rating, the first run, it wins. If it runs to the second rating, it's got dangers. So I don't know about that as being a betting opportunity. I mean, putting the red money on. By the way, you're right, Neil. It ran, listen to the same jurisdiction, ran at Doncaster in the Scepter Stakes, finishing 4th, beaten 5 lengths by Spangled. Then it went to the Prix de la Forêt at Chantilly and ran 9th behind Lamato, beaten 14.5 lengths. Those were both over 1,400, and then ran at Ascot in the Duke of Cambridge Stakes in the at Royal Ascot there. Ran 11th, beaten 12 lengths by Kamar.
Not bad form. Not bad form.
Not at all. Gavin Lorena actually rode it in that race. Can you believe it? At Royal Ascot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't remember that. Anyway, she's a lovely pedigree. I mean, how's this also All Around? The mother's father rather is Oasis Dream.
Was that not when you were there
then? When Gavin and I were there, no, I don't think so. I mean, he was there at the time, but I was there when he was trying to get rides from Michael Bell, and to be honest, the English weren't overly helpful, as they're not.
Yeah,
you know, that's well documented. Even when Michael went there, Michael Roberts went there. Took him a while. You know, they don't welcome outsiders that easily to the English.
Well, they dealt with the Gerard Ortiz Jr. in no uncertain terms.
No, well, to be fair, he dealt with himself. He's still waiting on the bell to go. Did you see, by the way, that I was vindicated yet again? Because on day 3, the stewards, the Ascot stewards took over and said, right, come in here, and gave him a lambasting and a holiday.
Oh, did they? Oh, yes. Okay.
Yes, he was suspended. Nightmare. He must go back to America, where he races around either 1 turn or 2
I was shocked,
turns.
as you know, Neil. I was absolutely shocked with the decision by Wesley Ward to bring him over. I said, Wesley Ward's come over time and time again and used Frankie, and it's worked. Why on earth change something? That's a classic case of don't change something. Don't try and fix something that's not broken.
Correct. And I'm sure Wesley will appreciate me saying this, Wesley Ward, that, he should change his name to Mental Ward, not Wesley. I mean, that was a daft decision, and boy, did it backfire. Yeah. I mean, the best he did, Nico, was run 4th on a horse that he should have run 3rd on. If he didn't spend the time looking as to whether he was going to run
he did heat it. He did heat it for 3rd. He should have run outright 3rd, I think, was it?
Did he dead heat for 3rd or 4th?
I think it was 3rd. I can't remember, but he did heat it where he should have got the position outright. You're right.
Yeah. Horrendous. Anyway, some of our colleagues like him. Good luck. They're going to go out backing him. To be fair, to balance it out, he did win the Belmont Stakes, but I suspect that if I'd strapped myself to that horse, I might have won the Belmont Stakes.
Neil, great stuff. Enjoy the day. Great chatting to you about today's racing. And we'll be doing more programs. Don't forget Nino Podesta and my good Uber mate MX will be joining us within the next 24 hours with a look at Fairview racing on the turf on Friday. And then Neil, you've got racing in Cape Town on Saturday. Did you know that? I'm telling you that now. There's no Joburg racing this weekend. There's no Joburg racing this weekend. So I think you've got the Saturday again. And there's Durban racing on Sunday. Well, there's KwaZulu-Natal racing, the Breeders' Day, the KwaZulu-Natal Breeders' Day on Sunday.
I don't want to keep you, but did you see what happened on Tuesday in Cape Town?
No.
The horse that I went for last time, labeled Douglas, right? Which I said on the show, be wary of Douglas, because he's been running in special weights maidens. He's been giving weight, and now he's got Greg Sheen on, who I thought would suit him. He won. But I went for Greg Sheen later on in the day. I chose, because I'd previously gone for Douglas, I said, let me go for Margin Call, which never ran. It got loose.
Scratched. Yeah, it was scratched.
So okay, we didn't lose any money. We got a refund. But the point is, had Margin Call not run, I would have gone for Douglas again.
There we go.
Anyway,
people know that. People know
it goes like that.
Regular viewers of the show know that and would probably follow up on that because they know which our horses are that we keep on going for. As in the case today,
well done. I want to say well done to Kirsty. You know, Kirsty Lyle's father owns that. Yeah, so very pleased for him. Douglas.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, well done to Kirsty. I know we're doing a bit of work for her too. So thanks very much, Kirsty, for that, for passing it on our way. That's it, Neil. Enjoy the day's racing on the Vaal Classic track. We'll catch up with you in the next couple of days.
Thanks, Nico. Good luck to you and Alistair as you drive with your Herbalife project products all the way to the Vaal.
Thanks very much. Cheers.